Good evening, everybody. This is John Marola from Keeping It Real Section 5 Football. And as you can see, tonight we are back at Premier Sports, myself and Coach Lanning. I got to introduce my partner to my right here, Section 5 Football Hall of Famer and Baseball Hall of Fame Coach Dave. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, John. My pleasure.
All righty. We're going to go over Week 5's games first. Before we get into that, I have to apologize about last week. As my partner here, Dave, knows, we tested everything out when we got done with our show last week, and everything was fine. Went home, and nothing was on it. So I kind of had a temper tantrum. And but I'm over that now. I call up my buddy Nick Dranko, and again, I got to say thank you to him. Without him with us right now, we'd have nothing going on. So I just want to say thank you to Nick for all his help.
Thank you, Nick, because John was in some emotional distress last week after that. I'm glad you came up.
I was not good last week.
Came up big for him.
I'm going to be honest with everybody. I was not good. Since you put a lot of time and effort into this, and I want this to be as best as we can do it, for a couple of amateurs, I guess, but...
John, we appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. I know you said that on the phone.
Hang in there.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Okay, before we get into Week 5, I got to go through our... Please subscribe to our channel. Anybody that has not subscribed. Again, our views are awesome. We're probably a little over 4,000 views. So that's just cranking. Subscribe. Just subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Please subscribe. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and like I said, but I had the delay last week. We will be on TikTok, hopefully soon.
And I'm looking forward to the TikTok.
I'm sure you are, Coach. I'm sure you are. So Week 5 games. First, now before I get into that, let me go through our sponsors real quick because I've been leaving them out for the last couple of weeks. We're going to start first with G Athletics, and we both know who that is, Coach Giordano.
Coach Giordano.
Runs a lot of camps, and he was, when we were up at Westside Camp, he was the director of that, and he did a camp that week. Over 700 kids were there. The next week he was at Irondequoit. He did a modified camp, football camp. There were over 400 kids at that one. So, football's cranking in Rochester a little bit, which is great to see.
Coach Giordano is very supportive of what you're trying to do.
Yes. Our second one is tonight where we are. I have to thank Joe Muno, the owner of Premier Sports here in Grease Ridge Mall. Just got to say thank you to him and all his efforts and everything. He's the one that mentioned to me months ago about having the show come up here and doing it up here. And it's just been awesome, been really awesome. I say thank you to, on a couple episodes we showed the jacket or the hoodie that our Athlete of the Week gets, the Premier Sport one with the Keeping It Real jacket. It's really nice. So just want to say thank you to Joe. After that is Rochester Jewelry and Tech. That's my niece Brooklyn, her husband Toga runs it. It's in Greece on Mount Reed across from Wegmans. If you go inside, you mention the show, he'll cut your deal. Whatever you're getting, he'll cut it. Just mention our show. Underneath that is Under the Radar, and that's our other partner who's not here tonight, Paul Burgandy. Under the Radar is my now former, because I'm not at that school anymore. I switched schools the last couple days in the city, so I'm not over at...
Was that your decision, John, to switch?
Yes, yeah.
You weren't asked to leave, right?
No,
no. Just making sure.
No, this is something that, I'm getting a little older, and kids are getting a little bigger.
It's hard to understand. You're getting older.
I know, it happens. So, Ronnie Crawford. Ronnie runs Under the Radar. It's a security company, and if you're doing any home security or business security, he's the man to talk to. His number's at the end with the credits. After that is Making a Splash. And that is my brother Dan. He runs that in the summertime. Actually, they're just getting ready to wrap that up. But again, if you go in and mention the show to him, he will take $100 off a pool liner. So if you're interested in that, his number's in there too. The last sponsor we have is Custo Print. That's where I've been going to get all of our stuff embroidered. Right there, Coach. It's a great look. All our stuff that we get embroidered, we go up to Custo Print and get it done. It's up on West Ridge Road. It's right next to Country Suite in the Street of Shops on West Ridge Road. And again, they do a great job. And whatever I ask, and they just get it out. They do great work. So
we have some serious sponsors, John.
Yes, I know, and you know, I've been just getting away from it a little bit.
This is big.
Yeah, you know. So now we're going to get into is our week number 5 games. And Coach, you want to start them off?
Yeah, it was an interesting slate of games this past week, John. Batavia, a big win to go 5-0. Batavia can put some points on the board. They beat Honey Eye Falls Lima 32-16, and Honey Eye Falls had come in undefeated, so that was a big matchup. Batavia rushed for 250 yards in that ball game, and I want to mention one of their big offensive linemen who's a key member of that rushing group. That's 350-pound Carvel Martino. He's a big one, and he can play. He's a road grader up front for them.
Wow.
Yeah. 250 yards rushing. Bronx Buckholzer, quarterback, another outstanding game. We'll get to his stats a little later in the show. And Maggio Buckholz, touchdown reception and 7 tackles on the defensive side.
Nice night of work.
I'm not sure, but I'm assuming they're brothers.
Yes.
If so, that's a pretty good night's work for those two.
Yes.
So Batavia 32, Honey Eye Falls Lima 16. Batavia remains undefeated. Honey Eye drops to 1 loss.
Okay.
Another interesting game was the Irondequoit Victor contest.
Yes.
And Irondequoit eked out a win, 18-15. Irondequoit goes to 5-0, and Victor has been a hard luck 1-4 right now, but played him awfully tough. Irondequoit quarterback Taden McUberry converted a 4th and 2 late in the game, turned it into a touchdown run, and it became the winning touchdown for Irondequoit as they came from behind in that one. Outstanding line play on both sides of the ball. Irondequoit, uncharacteristically, a few turnovers, a few mistakes with penalties, but they overcame that as well to hang on to win 18-15 over Victor.
Yeah. I know most of the coaches over there. Coach G Athletics is coaching there. A good friend Danny Fichter's the head coach, and Chris Battaglia, Derek Canacino, and they do a great job. But I met them up Saturday night up at Brighton. We were watching Brighton and Thomas, and they were talking about their game, and that's like you're going to have that week. And I guess this past week that was the week for Irondequoit, where they just came out and it wasn't really clicking.
Right.
Penalties. They couldn't, it was always fighting from behind, and those happen every once in a while, even to the best of teams.
Well, Victor's well coached. They're gonna find where they can hurt you, but in spite of their mistakes, Irondequoit overcame it, and now they match up with Brighton this week. We'll talk about that a little later.
Just one other thing on that, Coach. I'm trying to find it in my head, and I can't. Somewhere in there. Talking to Coach Fichter this past week, it's not the one. They have 2 sophomore receivers.
Right.
The one young man's name is Brian, and I just forgot his last name. The other young man, I can't think of it at all. Anyways, he just got an offer.
As a sophomore.
And I don't think I've ever heard of this in Section 5, but Arkansas just offered him.
Wow. Good for him.
An SEC skilled position.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go through my brain as far as who in Section 5 ever got recruited out of an SEC team.
Yeah, and especially as a sophomore. I don't recall anyone either, and I've been around for a long time here. But
yeah.
That's quite an honor for that young guy.
That's his first one, and I'm sure there's
there'll be others once somebody's on to you.
Yep, you're in 10th
The word's
grade.
out, and now they're going to start competing to see who can
Yes.
win his favor.
But congratulations to him, and just keep up the good work and stay healthy.
Well, there's a few now in Section 5 this year that have been offered from big time programs. It doesn't mean there aren't a lot of other good players. There are.
There are.
And a bunch of kids will go on and play Division 3 and whatever. But the Division 1 offers something to hang your hat on.
Yes, sir.
Another big game from this past week, and it ended up in a close one. Hilton 22, UPrep 19. Hilton goes to 4-1 on the year. Tyler Rieger, of the winning field goal for Hilton with 5 seconds left in the ball game.
Wow.
He knocked it in. Now he's a two-way. Actually, he's a three-way player, I guess, because he intercepted a ball on defense. He rushed for well over 50 yards, and he kicked a field goal. So,
oh my God,
he's working on all sides of the ball.
He hit all 3 phases.
Yes, he did.
Offense, defense.
So it's a big one for Hilton, and they've got a tough one this week as they play Fairport. And we'll get to Fairport in a little bit. One from outside the county, Alexander, goes to 4-1 with a bounce-back win. They got beat last week by Avon for their first loss, but they bounced back with a 38-point victory over Geneseo Mount Morris. And that's Geneseo Mount Morris's first loss.
Yes, we were talking about that last week.
Yeah, so a big win for Alexander. It was their homecoming, senior day. Stout defense for them. And to top it off, a young man named Jacob Brooks returned the opening kickoff 78 yards for a touchdown.
Wow.
So that's a way to celebrate homecoming and
Yes,
senior
it
day
is.
right there.
Yes, it
So
is.
big win for Alexander. Fairport goes to 5-0. Maybe one of the surprise teams, although it's a veteran team, and people who follow football know that they've got a good club this year. But they're 5-0 with a win over Rush Henrietta, 21-7. They rushed for over 250 yards behind a veteran offensive line. They've got some seniors up front who have been around now a little bit. Joe Roselli, senior linebacker, recorded 9 tackles for the Red Raiders, and James Robert Kester, defensive end, added 6. We'll talk about some of their offensive stalwarts a little later on. But a good win for them. Now, I was in a little bit of a pickle this weekend as to which games to see, and I decided I would go over to Penfield and watch them play Pittsford.
Oh, nice.
I figured it would be a good ball game, and it turned out to be a good one. Pittsford got into the winning column with a 22-20 win over Penfield. Both teams rushed the ball very well, well over 250 yards for both clubs. And Lorenzo Geminiani, I believe that's right.
That's a good job.
Lorenzo, if I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry. 36-yard field goal.
Wow.
For the game-winning points for Pittsford in their first win. Jax Bernas, 12 tackles for Pittsford. And James Mosley, 149 yards rushing.
Nice.
So Pittsford came to play and got themselves a win.
Nice.
An interesting game for me was the Canandaigua-Monroe game. It shaped up to be a nice matchup. Canandaigua pulled it out with a 28-12 victory. Canandaigua remains undefeated. Monroe goes to 3-2, but they're dangerous. Trey Lavella, 20 carries for 142 yards rushing for Canandaigua. Drew Williamy, the quarterback, threw for 107 and 2 touchdowns. And for Monroe, Messiah Hampton, he's another one of these guys that's had numerous Division I offers. He's a receiver for Monroe, and he caught a touchdown pass for the 5th week in a row.
Wow.
So he's a threat every week. But Canandaigua hangs on to win 28-12 to go 5-0. And now a big one that I know you were at, John, and that's the McQuaid-Aquinas game. I don't know if you want to comment on that one at all.
That was, I give credit to both teams, both, players on both. They, every time Aquinas McQuaid play, they put everything on, their hearts on the line. And McQuaid just came out at the end. They just basically took over the 4th quarter and just controlled the ball offensively and defensively.
Final score, I'm sorry, was 23-9 McQuaid. And again, they had to come from behind. Aquinas jumped out to a 9-0 lead. And McQuaid had to battle back.
Aquinas jumps out to 9-0 now, gets the ball. McQuaid fumbles it on their 30. Now Aquinas is up 9-0 halfway through the first quarter, and they're on McQuaid's 30-yard line. And I'm looking at G. I went to the game with George, and he just, I said, if they score here, this might be over in the first quarter. But they didn't, and McQuaid came back, and they fought hard. And I think halftime score was 9-7.
9-7. Aquinas hit the first play of the game for 82 yards. Darian Battle broke a big one. Then they tackled Will DeMarco in the end zone for safety.
Yes.
So that made it 9-0. And then McQuaid turned it around a little bit. J.P. Gianforti blocked a punt.
Mm-hmm.
Recovered it himself in the end zone for a touchdown. That got McQuaid on the board. And then they kind of took over from there. Alan Nesmith, a former player of the week for us, had a big game for McQuaid. He broke off a 68-yard touchdown run and ended up with 228 yards rushing on 26 carries. But it was a defense-dominated second half. Now, we'll comment, it was the 60th anniversary of the first McQuaid-Aquinas game. I remember going to the first one when I was in high school at East Rochester. Some of my buddies played for McQuaid and Aquinas.
Oh, really?
The game was at the old Aquinas Stadium.
Yep.
And McQuaid won that first one, too.
Yes,
and it was quite a game. 60 years now they've been going at it.
That's amazing. Just to go, finish up on the Aquinas-McQuaid game. Like I said, both teams, their kids, they put their hearts around. They just played until they really couldn't play anymore. The weather got really crappy. It was raining, sprinkling, raining. It was, not a really great night, but there were some really, really tired, sore kids after that game.
It's really, as a coach or as a spectator, it's what you look for. It's pure high school football.
Yep.
They got after it, and both teams are to be congratulated for that.
Yes.
So those are some of the big games from the past week. We can't hit all of them, unfortunately. We wish we could, but those are some that I think we found worthy of mentioning.
Yes.
As we go into Week 6, John, there's still 9 undefeated teams left in Section 5. In Class AA, McQuaid and Fairport are both 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
And in Class A, Canandaigua, Irondequoit, and Brighton are 5-0, and that's going to change this week. Irondequoit and Brighton play Thursday night.
Yes.
So that'll be a pretty good ball game, I'm sure. In Class B, Batavia, 5-0.
Yes.
Nobody left in Class C. We've got Avon still in Class D at 5-0.
Yes.
Penn Yan Dundee's 4-0 in the Indies, and Pembroke is still 4-0 undefeated in the 8-man.
Yes. You want to talk a little bit about our guest who just kind of walked in?
We can do that now, or I can mention a few of the notables from this past week, and then we can get to our special guest player of the week. A couple of notables, as I said. Clarence Bell from Brighton, a 92-yard kickoff return in their victory over Thomas, 92 yards to the house. Mm-hmm. Bronx Buckholz from Batavia, their quarterback. He's continued his strong play. He's a senior quarterback. He rushed for 178 yards and 2 touchdowns. He threw for 147 and 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
And their big one over Honeyoff Falls Lima. Bailey Frank from Fairport and Noah Remington from Fairport continue their strong showing rushing the football. Fairport won over 250 in their win over Rush. Frank had 169 yards rushing and a touchdown. Remington chipped in with 95 yards.
Nice.
They're also two-way players. Play linebacker for Fairport. Cam Freeman, a past player of the week, had a big game rushing for 152 yards and also had 13 tackles in their win over Victor this past week. Cam Freeman from Irondequoit. Zaire Good from Athena, 2 touchdowns, 1 pass reception, and 1 punt return for 58 yards in their win over Arcadia. Zane Kropman from Penfield, a sophomore running back. His first start, 37 rushes for 223 yards, 3 touchdowns in their loss to Pittsford.
Yeah, I remember.
I think we'll hear from that young guy. Tyler Rieger, as I said, from Hilton, a game-winning field goal over UPrep with just a few seconds left. Max Travato from Webster Thomas, 10 tackles and a sack in their victory. And Landon Scott from Brockport, senior quarterback, continues his strong play. Threw for 4 touchdowns in their win over Virtus.
Nice.
So those are some of the outstanding individual efforts from this past week. We can go to our player of the week next, or we can highlight next week, whichever you want to do.
Next week?
Let's do that. I've got a few games I think that are worth mentioning, as we said, and you'll probably be at that one. Irondequoit Brighton Thursday night. They're both 5-0.
Yep.
Number 2 and the number 4 seeds now. As we get closer to sectionals, we've got a couple of outstanding running backs there with Cam Freeman from Irondequoit, Gavin Parks from Brighton. Should be a good one.
Yes. I watched Brighton the other night, Saturday night. They played home against Thomas, and I tell you, they got a nice ball club. They can run it. They got all phases. They have nice special teams, and it's going to be a really, really good game, which I'm really looking forward.
I think it will be. Another big one is Hilton Fairport this week. Hilton 4-1, Fairport 5-0 right now, currently number 2 in AA. It's at Hilton. So Hilton will have that advantage, and that's always a good ball game. It should be really a rugged game.
Yes.
Both teams up front are strong this year. Hilton's sitting at number 4 currently in the seeding. Undefeated Avon takes on Geneseo Mount Morris, who has 1 loss. That'll be a test for Avon. Should be a good one.
Okay.
McQuaid and UPrep.
Yep.
Interesting contest. UPrep can score quickly. And McQuaid has had to come from behind now in most of their games, so we'll see what happens there.
And a quick comment on that one is that's going to be this Saturday at noon at McQuaid, and we're going to be there. That's going to be our second trying to go live. And the first time we did was the Irondequoit Eastridge game, but it kind of rained out. And we had to do it inside. It looks like the weather right now, knock on wood, is supposed to be really nice on Saturday. A high of 70 with no rain. I probably just jinxed it. But I just like, to get a game where, people could see the players in the background.
That should be fun.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
And I'll mention one more. Penyan Dundee, undefeated, takes on Midlakes, who only has 1 loss. So it'll be a test for Penyan to see if they can continue. Those are some of the games that I've highlighted for this upcoming week, John.
Okay. Our guest?
Our guest is here, and we'll get him on camera in a minute. Player of the week from Palmac, Mason Delmarle. We'll talk to him and about his stats in a minute.
Okay, so everybody just stay tuned, and we'll be back with our week number 5 Player of the Week. 3. Hello, everybody. We're back again on Keeping It Real Section 5 Football. And we have our guest tonight, but first, on my far right, I have to introduce again my partner, Section 5 Hall of Fame football and baseball coach, Dave Lanning. Dave, thanks again.
You're welcome, John.
And you're going to introduce our guest tonight.
I'm honored to introduce Mason Delmarle from Palmac, our Player of the Week this week. Mason, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Mason, I'm just going to read off some of your numbers from last week.
Okay.
And they're impressive to be sure. And if I'm wrong on any of them, you can correct me or add a few if you want.
Okay.
27 carries for 242 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions, 4 solo tackles, and an assist. That's a total of 22 points. You sound like Seth Curry or something out there without that many points. And a big 42-30 win over Greece Olympia to put the Red Raiders at 3-1. That's quite a week.
Oh yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah. Did you? I'm just interested in terms of what you guys line up in offensively.
Honestly, don't know what we line up in.
All right. You're the running back.
Yeah, I play. We have 2 running backs in the backfield.
Okay.
So
all right. Split backs or an eye or.
We do kind of like an eye.
Okay.
So.
Well, what do you attribute your big game to?
Definitely my lineman and lead blocker.
Okay.
So, without those great blocks, I probably wouldn't have my great runs. So.
Yeah. Did you break off any long ones?
I did.
Like what? 30, 20?
I had a 50-yard run.
Oh, good for you.
Touchdown run?
No.
Just a run? Nice.
Yeah.
And when the game was going on, I'm sure you didn't know, but you probably had to feel pretty good about the way that you were running.
Yeah.
And your guys up in front of you were doing their job with the blocking and all that. when in your mind did you start thinking, hey, this is going to be a pretty good night here? Or was it first half, second half?
Well, first half we kind of started falling apart mentally, made a bunch of like little mistakes,
Okay.
and then so I think the second half in the locker room had to get reorganized, and we came out and we just kept going.
Took
Nice.
over the second half.
Oh, yeah.
Were you at home?
Yes,
Was it a home
it was
game?
homecoming.
That's good. Oh, homecoming too.
Yeah, it
Nice.
was, yeah.
Nice. Geneva this week.
Yeah,
Pretty good rivalry.
I think so. It's gonna be a tough game
Yeah. You play them at home or at their place?
at their place.
Okay.
So,
Now you play both sides of the ball.
yes,
Which do you prefer?
Running
O or
back,
D?
running back.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you play in defense?
outside linebacker.
All right. Do you get a rest on special teams?
No,
You're out there for that too.
I'm out there for everything.
Good
Wow.
man. 48 minutes. Did you go all 48? Did you get to blow it all?
Well, I got a couple blows at
All
the
right.
end.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Plus, how many attempts did you have? How many rushing attempts?
27 rushes.
27 rushes. That alone right there is a full
You
night.
probably slept pretty well that night,
yeah. I was sore.
I imagine. Now, it looks like you've been in the weight room.
I have. Yeah.
You guys have a pretty good program, all season weights, or are you
Oh, yeah.
on your own?
Well, I lift on my own at a place called Power Train. It's in East Rochester.
Okay, I know it. Yeah.
And they do. I think they do well there with training and staff.
Good, good. How much you weighing right now, if I can ask?
Right now, I'm 195.
That's pretty good size for a running back.
It is
Yeah.
very good.
Good for you. Now, you're only a junior, but looking ahead, you've got another year of high school football left, which will probably be a lot of fun for you too.
Oh,
But do you have goals beyond high school?
Yeah, I hope to look to play college football. So
All right, as a running back?
as a running back, yeah.
Okay,
We
good for
talked
you.
earlier, and you mentioned Lafayette, I believe.
Lafayette, yeah.
Was one of your
Yes.
colleges that you're looking at. Very good school.
Pretty strong academics there too.
Yeah.
You do all right in the classroom?
Do average.
Okay,
A little bit of average.
right. okay. Other sports, Mason?
So. Yeah, over the spring I do lacrosse.
Okay,
Oh,
good for you.
nice.
Yeah.
What do you play there, midi?
No, I'm defense.
Defense?
Okay.
Oh, you like the long stick and all right, good for you.
As a player right now, this year, give me 2 goals. Give me your personal goal. What do you want to? I know it's a team sport and all that, but inside you're always you're looking at what can I do to make our team better. So, what is your thoughts on that as far as a personal goal this year for you?
Well, I think a major personal goal right now is to, work on my ball handling, because I've had a few fumbles in the past game, so it was not great.
Yeah,
Definitely a big upset there, and then I think a second one is just keep getting my stats up so I can get looks from colleges.
Yes, most definitely. What is your team goal? What are you looking for this team, this 2024 team, this Pelmac team to do?
Go undefeated for the rest of the year.
That's
That's all it is.
Going into the season, what'd you think?
I think we were going to be undefeated, and then big upset there from Dansville, lost to
Okay.
them. So,
Yeah.
but I think from here on out we're going to do pretty good.
And you liking things right now?
Yeah,
Team attitude is good.
yeah,
Big win heading into Geneva.
oh yeah.
What do you want to bring now? We were just touching a little bit. You're a junior. You're going to be a senior next year. Is this your first year of varsity football? Did you
This is
play-
my second year.
So you played it as a 10th grader, now 11th grader.
Yeah.
Now then you go into your 12th, your senior year. How many guys? What are you looking to do your senior year? Whatever you can do this year plus, pretty
Well,
much.
I'm looking to get my speed up. I feel like I'm fast, but I'm not as fast as I should be for a running back.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get my speed up, I think that'll benefit the team a lot.
Okay. I know you guys got Geneva this week.
Oh, yeah.
After Geneva, what's your schedule look like?
After Geneva, we have Mid Lakes,
Okay.
I think Newark, and then we have Wayne for our last
Okay.
game.
Oh,
For the X?
Yeah, for the X.
Okay. That's always a fun game, a rivalry game.
Yes,
oh,
it is.
nice.
Play for the X.
Nice, very nice. Well, I really don't. You have anything you want to add to this?
Well, anybody you want to shout out to, Mason? Any of your
Yeah,
guys
I
on the
like-
ball club?
I like to shout out to my O-line for helping me get big runs, and my lead blocker, Timothy Batterby.
What about your linemen? Could you give me their names?
Yeah, from left to right, we have Big John.
Big John.
Big
How big
John.
is Big John?
I think he's like 6'4",
Ooh.
270.
Ooh, that's
He's
big.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good size.
He's pretty big.
That'll do, yeah.
Big John, Aiden Blankenberg at guard, Cormac Denniston at center.
Okay.
And then right guard, we have, we call him Big Tex. His name's Wyatt.
How big is Big Tex?
He's probably like 6 foot, 300.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Nice.
And then we have at
Your right tackle?
right tackle Johnny Knack. He's a smaller fellow, but he gets the job done.
Nice. Very nice.
Good for you. I'm sure they're going to appreciate that.
Yeah.
And maybe block harder this week.
You never know. Well, anyways, I just want to say thank you for being here.
Of course.
You know, just keep up the good work. Make sure you get your work done in school. You know, everybody always says about school, but, you know, that's important. I mean, you're getting to that, that point in your life where that's going to carry you. And the better the grades you get, the more teams that want to come look at you. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to say thank you. And just keep on rolling, Coach.
Good luck this week. We're going to follow you for sure now.
Thank you.
Keep our eye on you.
All right. Now, at the end of our show, what we do is I'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll point at the cameras. One of the two. One of them better work. I'll go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to say, keeping it real, Section 5 football.
Keeping it real, Section 5 football.
Okay, you ready?
Okay, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Keeping it real, Section 5 football.
Thank you. Everybody have a great night. And that's that.
Cut.
Cut.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.